Hello and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And today we have an amazing episode planned out for you all. We are going to be talking about some Stranger Things. Ooh.
Yes. I'm so excited. You don't understand. Like, I just want to take a moment and say this. I literally, on a daily basis, would talk about random shows, random movies, and then by the end of it, people were like, oh, what made you want to watch that? And I'm like, well, a Power Rangers in it. And they're like, of course, that's the reason why you would watch that. And I'm like, well, hello, I got to support my homies who don't know me, but you know.
Oh my God, not support the homies who don't know you. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. But yes.
So I'm extremely happy that we actually get to do this on this show. Like, I'm beyond happy. To say my dream is coming true is an understatement. Just saying.
Oh.
So excited.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Right. Well, yes. We will be reviewing Stranger Things, and we will be also reviewing episode 8 of Power Rangers Dino Fury. Oh, mid-season finale, a little piece of mid-season. We will be talking about that as well. And we will also have some Ranger Things. I was saying some Stranger Things. Some Ranger Things to talk about on this episode as well.
We have
so many Rangers.
Right? So much, you guys. Like, so much. So sit tight, grab a snack, grab a drink. Let's get started.
Absolutely. But before we do, I just want to go ahead and put it out there. If you have not, just to let you know, we are available on all social media platforms. And, especially, the big one. You know what I'm saying? Like the big one, right? Apple Podcasts. You know what I'm saying? You heard of it? I'm pretty sure you have. On Apple Podcasts, that's where we are as well. And just to let you know, please, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and hit those 5 stars because, it would really help us out. It really would. So, if you haven't done that, please do so. If you have done it, thank you. But also, too, if you don't, like the show or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We hope you like it. Jesus Christmas. But, you know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, please don't hit them stars, girl. Don't do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Please don't. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that wouldn't be cute. But, but, if you do love the show and you really want to support, please hit 5 stars. That will be great. Now, onward to the show. So, Lena, what do we have for Ranger Things today?
Oh my gosh. Like, do you all remember Rhett Fisher, aka Ryan Mitchell, the Titanium Ranger in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue?
Wow. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad we do. A lot of people don't seem to, but that's not the point. Anyways,
first of all, bump them, but go ahead.
Right? He and his wife and their adorable little baby has started a family business. I'm sure the baby didn't actually do anything other than look cute, but that's not the point. They started a family business called More Than Essential. And the first product that has launched from this More Than Essential company, it is I want to say essential oil, essential holder combined so that you can actually travel with it. It's kind of cool. So it looks like a little bucket bag, and on the inside of it is actually lined with cute little pockets where it fits all of your essential oils perfectly. And in the center is completely empty because it is designed to put your essential oil holder or your diffuser. That's what those things are called. Wow. Brain fart. The diffuser. So you can actually put your diffuser right in the middle and then travel with it wherever you want to go. So if you're taking a plane, you're taking a road trip, or just going overnight for a sleepover, I'm not even sure if people do that anymore. But if you do, you can bring your diffuser with all of your essential oils along with you. And get this, Brent Fisher actually designed this for his wife because she has a love for essential oils and a diffuser. So he designed this for her. And I guess he felt that it was such a great idea, not that we're knocking it, it is a fantastic idea, that he decided to launch this. And greater news on this product, you can actually get this on Amazon. What? I'm sorry. If you make it to Amazon, not that it's not that it's hard to, but if you do, for me that's like an A plus plus. So his first product ever, and it's on Amazon. So definitely do us a huge favor, do him a huge favor. Follow his new Instagram page called More Than Essential. It is more underscore than underscore essential. There's a link to the product that I just described. And, just show us some love and support. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Because, I mean, like, who doesn't? I would. I mean, that's why you're all here. We're listening to us, right? Giving us your support. So do the same for Mr. Fisher and his family. So the next movie that I'm going to talk about, it is called Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Wow, that's a really long title. But anyhow, the reason why I bring up this movie is because James McClurkin, aka Mac Harford, the Red Ranger from Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. I know he hasn't been seen in a really long time, but rest assured, he's actually putting in some work. He actually worked on this script for this particular movie that's going to be released in June 16th of 2021. It stars Ryan Reynolds, Samuel Jackson, and Salma. Very huge lineup, very exciting. I don't even know how he even got on this to even begin to write the script for this, but I'm very excited. I'm definitely going to check it out when it comes out. I hope you guys will as well too.
Dude, that's crazy. Those are some like heavy hitters.
Right? Big names. Holy moly. So I'm actually really shook. Like, I'm actually surprised. I mean, not that I'm surprised, actually. He's a really good writer, I'm sure. I just don't know a lot of his work, but I'm sure he's really good because, hello, that's a big cast.
He's obviously been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we clearly didn't know about.
Do you all remember Zordon, or also known as David J. Feeling these days? Once upon a time, he wrote a book called Grimm's. He's decided that it needs a friend. It needs a backup story. So he's releasing a sequel that's coming very, very, very soon. So if you guys haven't read his book, which is now releasing in hardcover, do it. Do yourself a favor. It is really good. Starting Up Love, starring Anna Hutchison. I mean, based on the title, we can assume what the movie is going to be about. So I'm not going to get into it and waste your time a little too much. We're going to move on. The greatest news that I've got, and it's my last news of the evening, is RJ Kyler just got cast to star in Emergency, a comedy from Amazon Studios and Temple Hill, which is freaking exciting. Like, what? Kyler will be playing a college senior named Sean, who is ready to embark on a night of partying with his best friend. As they return to their apartment for a pregame, they discover a semi-conscious white girl that they don't know on the floor. Now, him and his friends are, in total, there's going to be 3 black guys. They see a white girl. We already know what's going to happen if the cops get called. So, of course, the boys are like, yeah, that's not going to happen. We're not getting charged for a crime that we didn't even commit or knocked her unconscious or drugged her in any aspect. So they're trying to help her. They're trying to get her to safety without getting in trouble by the authorities for being black. That's essentially what I understand from this whole little summary. Of course, if you want to read a lot more about it, which there is a lot more about it, it is posted on our Instagram, where you can definitely click on it and swipe left to see all the details of the summary, of the characters, of how the film decided to come to be, and all that beautiful jazz.
All right. Well, those all sound like exciting things. First of all, I'm the main thing I'm excited for, honestly, is the RJ Kyler, because like that movie sounds freaking amazing. So I'm like, yes. And plus, like I'm always excited to like see stuff from the Power Rangers movie cast because they don't get their things. Like I mean, they have been, as far as like brother Ludi Lin, who has a movie coming out this weekend, this upcoming weekend.
Yes, Mortal Kombat, right?
Mortal Kombat, April 23rd.
It's already April 23rd. What the frick? Where did the time go?
Where did the time go, girl? Where did the time go?
Oh, I remember. Oh, when they were filming this movie, I'm like, when is it gonna come out? When is it gonna come out? Oh my god, pandemic. When is it gonna come out? When is it?
Well, girl, even then it was like they were supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out this weekend. This weekend, yeah, it was supposed to come out this weekend, being April 16th. But then they were like, we got to push it back a week, which I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But, it is coming out April 23rd. So this is exciting.
So exciting. Oh my God.
Like, yes.
I'm so mad that I won't be able to see it when you guys do because I don't have HBO Max in Canada. So if y'all know a link to watch it, send it my way.
Okay, because girl, I want you to see it. Girl, wait. When is it coming out in is it coming out in theaters in Canada?
Well, quick update. There is no theaters anymore. Our prime minister or whatever, I don't even know. I'm losing track of who's who. I'm not a political kind of person, so do not judge me. I have Doug Ford and I have Justin Trudeau, but apparently this is not Justin Trudeau's doing. We have gone into a stay-at-home order where we cannot do anything until the end of next month, which is May 20th. To top it all off, all stores can only sell essential items.
Wow.
That is the lockdown I'm currently in.
Happened?
I have no idea.
I wish people would read because like there are still studies that are coming out basically saying like even if you get the vaccine, you still can get COVID. And not only that, you can get it and you can transmit it to other people who may not be vaccinated. And you could actually make them even more sicker. Plus, also too, it is now coming out that also people who have been getting infected with COVID, depending on what kind of strain and the mutation, it actually still will affect you the same way it would if you weren't vaccinated.
Thank you.
You walking around with no mask. It's
knowledge already. I don't.
But that's the thing. People are weird. People are weird. Like it's like this is what people were waiting for. They were like, "Oh, I'm vaccinated now, so I can do what I want." Right. And it's like, no, that's not what that means. Like we're gonna be wearing masks for a while, and people don't really. People don't really think about that. It's just
movie theaters do not exist. I don't know how I'm going to watch Mortal Kombat. I would love to. So yes, our listeners, you too, send me links if you guys can find them because I'm dying to see it. Ludi, it's going to look so great. I'm so excited.
Granted, I am not the one for gore. I'm really not. Like, I am literally going to this movie. Well, I may not go see it because I'm not fully vaccinated yet. So I may not go see it. But I am honestly, I'm thinking about actually going to my friend's place because she's also vaccinated as well. She took the Johnson & Johnson one. So she's fully vaccinated and I may go over to her place and watch it at her place. And we might do like a little movie party night. But I'm like, girl, are you working? Because she has to go back to work. She works at Disney. So she has to go back to work.
What?
Yeah. Disney is like about to like almost fully reopen very soon.
Oh, gosh.
So she has to go back to work.
I would love to be visiting Disney right now because I need some magical like stuff in my life. I just need someone to tell me to have a magical day. Like, I don't know.
Girl, I mean, like, and be truthfully honest, like, it's funny because she is like, she wants to go back to work, but then she's like, ooh, but under these restrictions and under the fact that there's still COVID, I don't know. But I'm like, girl, listen, like, do what you can. Just do what you can. And she's like, I know, but we're not talking about COVID. We're talking about specifically Power Ranger stuff. Okay, but anyway.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so this is good news. This is all good news about the actors, and yeah, we just hope that they just continue on doing their thing. Now, speaking of doing their things, Simon Bennett though. What are y'all doing over there? Because y'all are killing this show. Like in a good way.
Love.
Like, what is going on? Like, I have not enjoyed Power Rangers like this, honestly, since RPM.
It's such it's such a long time. Like every single episode, I'm genuinely excited. Every single episode,
genuinely
so good. Like, what the heck? I can't. I can't.
It's so good.
Amazing. This is just fantastic.
It's so good.
And not even just that. Like, Simon Bennett and him and on his Twitter, man, that man, I don't know what balls he's got, but keep them coming.
Oh, how he be, how he's like telling the truth and getting people together.
Yeah. I don't even think that he's trying to like come at anybody. It's just people be coming up with all sorts of stuff, and he just like, no, that's not it. Like he just.
I mean, obviously, I know he's not trying to like drag people. Obviously, I mean, the man still wants to keep his job, but like he's very like he's honest. And the thing is it's like fans. Here's the thing. Fans love to draw up conclusions on things that they think they know because of what they see. So what'll happen is a lot of times fans will just be like, "Ooh, like I wish this will happen," or maybe this will happen. And a lot of fans are so quick to want to bring especially old cast members from like Mighty Morphin. They always want to bring them back, and it's like, yo, like, the country is still like they were filming during a time where they were completely shut down.
Yep.
Plus, Simon like already has said in past interviews, if you've listened to them, he said like we are not like the country is not inviting other people inside unless they have the documents showing, and then they have to actually be quarantined for 14 days before they can actually film. And it's like, well, what's the point of doing that, knowing that these people have jobs or have other things that they're doing? They can't be sitting in a whole different country for 14 days and they have to film, then turn right back around. It's like, no, they're not doing that. So and then the other argument is, well, you have other actors from previous seasons who live in New Zealand. And it's like, well, yeah, but this show is not about, oh, let's just bring in random people just to bring in random people. Like, there still needs to be a story behind it.
I was just
like, what's the point of bringing in all these random people? Like,
I don't get that. I don't get why they want to be bring X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense to the storyline. Why are they even here? Like, don't you remember the last few team ups that we had? None of it made sense, and we were all complaining about it.
Well, not all of us, because there are some people who were like, "Oh my God, this person is back," and it's like that's all they want to see. They just want to see these people come back, and it's like
that's weird.
There's no story behind this. Like, I mean, yes, it's wonderful to see these people come back on screen and reprise their roles. Great, but also, I'm sorry, but just like what is her name? Allison McGinnis.
Yes.
Just like she was saying in an interview, she was like, when she was talking about the Super Mega Force finale, she was like, some of us didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
We were just brought back just to basically just be there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's sad. Like, you literally traveled all this, all these miles to go and shoot this show just to basically sit there in a costume and be a background person. Like, literally, they literally were just background people, just like the other people in costumes. Right? But they just took their helmets off, and that was it.
That was it. Honestly, they could have easily just got them to do a self-tape and then Photoshop that on.
Literally. Like literally. Like they could have filmed that in LA because a lot of them live here. They could have easily filmed it in LA and was like, oh, we're just gonna go ahead and ship this footage on to
I mean, no, realistically, think about it. Like, we have the technologies these days, and a lot of us know how to make YouTube videos and all that great jazz. So, how hard is it to film a self tape, which a lot of people do these days too, particularly actors and actresses for audition? So, what's the difference, right? I don't see a difference. It's,
I mean,
failing it.
I mean, obviously, of course, they would be like, "Oh, we need to, split the units, and you have to have like first unit, second unit, all that kind of stuff, whatever." But I guess the point I'm trying to make is just like when it comes to, I know for me, and this is completely coming from my acting side as an artist. For me, it's like I personally, as a storyteller, would not want to just see people just come back for the sake of coming back. Like there has to be a reason. Like prime example, one of the best team ups ever done when they brought all these people back to me was Forever Red. Literally only because of the fact that not only did they bring them back and have them have something to do, we know the reason as to why they came back. It was very specific. And they said they were only using Red Rangers. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's clear cut, dried. We know exactly what's happening. It was very entertaining. Everybody had something to do. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Unlike certain other ones where it's just like, oh yeah, we're just bringing people back for the sake of people coming back. And then of course it turns into a complete shit show. And now everybody's like, oh my God, like, why is it not doing the thing? Well, because you're just bringing people back for no freaking reason. Like, it doesn't even make sense. So I'm like, no, just don't even bring these people back. And I'm glad that, Simon Bennett is just like, no, like, nobody from previous seasons are coming back. We will not have no Mighty Morphins up in here. Like, we ain't gonna have no Dino charges, thank goodness, because as much as I love the Dino charge team, give them a rest. Okay, let these babies rest their feet, honey, because I swear every time you turn around, we getting Yoshi fine ass on this screen. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Yoshi. But I'm tired of seeing them put that man on that terrible behind wig and having him run across my screen. Like I'm tired. Like, give him a rest.
Broken, but not broken English.
Right. Like I'm like, after a while, this man gonna start speaking, clear, perfect English on this. As much as they bringing him back, he gonna be speaking perfect English. Like, come on now. Like, I'm just like, no, like, just give these characters a rest and, just focus on the ones that we have. And I think that Dino Fury is doing an excellent job with that. Speaking of, first of all, that whole thing, can we just talk about this whole, like, the main thing that people are talking about is the Morphin Masters. The Morphin Masters been Morphin Mastering up in here. Like the Morphin Masters have been Morphin Mastering. Like they were like, yo, we out in these streets just like creating stuff and creating all these artifacts and sending them out in space and sending them to Earth and doing all the things. And not only are we doing that, but we watching everything that's happening too. And I'm like, hold on. So wait a minute. The Morphin Masters are responsible for the little piece of ninja prism, whatever that thing called. What is it called? The Nexus prism. Nexus prism. Yeah. They're responsible for this. They're responsible for the Dino gems, and I'm like, okay, this is cute. Well, specifically red and green.
That's what
which I'm like, that's interesting.
Right, how just those two. I was very curious about that too.
When I saw that, I assumed that they just showed those two, but the other ones were responsible for things too. Because it doesn't make any sense for it just to be two of them, since there's 6 of them. But they didn't show it to us, so I can understand. Why someone would think it could have just been the 2.
Well, listen, all I got to say is Red and Green was out here being like, we got work to do. So I don't know what y'all doing over there, but we gonna be working. You know what I'm saying? The other Morphin Masters probably sitting around drinking coffee and eating little trinkets and stuff, eating bread and junk, talking about some, we just gonna go ahead and let y'all work. Y'all go ahead. And they just like, all right, girl.
What if, I have like a random freaking theory. What if that is just like a stupid Easter egg where they're trying to get like Jason and Tommy to be friends in real life?
Oh God,
girl.
They ain't thinking about them.
I went there.
Girl, I'm not about to play with you. But no, like, it's funny though, because like, I find it very interesting that the Morphin Masters were actually responsible for those things. It's like, this is actually really cool. And not only that, but they're actually still just they're like monitoring things. Like, they're like just sitting on the sidelines, just watching, like, watching and peeping, like, what are they doing over there? Are they, they doing things right? Right. They playing God up in here, like, let me see if my my disciples are doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is cute. Okay, we like this. We really do. We like it. And I just love the fact that the Morphin Masters really do have they have a reason, they have a purpose of being here. And like I said the first time when we were reviewing the episode 1, I wanted to see if the Morphin Masters were going to be used again. I wanted to see if they were going to be used again, if they were going to actually have a purpose on being here. And they really do seem like they really do have a purpose. And I really like that. I really like that they actually do a lot in this show. And I also feel like they're retconning some things too, trying to clean some stuff up, but that's just me.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing, because there's a lot of murky water with Power Rangers that we still don't have answers to or explanations for.
Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff that is not explained in this show. But one thing that I really do hope and pray that either they explain in this show, or whether Jonathan Entwistle will explain when he reboots the story lore of the franchise. What the hell does the Morphin Grid actually do? What does it do? Like, what is its function? What does it do to a person? Like, physiology, like, what does it do to their body? Like it actually explain what the Morphin Grid actually is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love that if we actually got an explanation, because as of right now, we've had so many versions of the Morphin Grid. We had it as a liquid. We've had it as a rock. We've had it as like a little tunnel of energy. It's been some of everything, and it's never really been one thing where it's like we know exactly what this is. Hell, we had it inside of a suit in the Power Rangers movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've just had it in so many forms, and it's like, but what is it? Like, is this universal power source? Yeah, we know, but what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, explain that, But yeah, like, I really love that. I really love that. But the fact is, and there was some interesting, now I also wanted to bring this up too. There were some interesting things online that people were talking about. They were talking about how, well, the reason as to why the prism was there and the fact that it flew in the water. Now, a lot of people I don't know what they all seen it, but a lot of people have been saying that online that they think that the reason why the prism was there and it went into the water was because that's where Ion is. Because Ion Zord is a Mosasaurus Rex.
Oh my god.
Well, Mosasaurus. Yeah. So, and a Mosasaurus is a sea dinosaur. So they're thinking that, he might be asleep in the water. And I'm like, what do y'all think?
That sounds perfect. That sounds like a really cool way of introducing them. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, ooh, this is actually interesting. Like, and the thing is, I was like, because like it never even dawned on me because I was like, I mean, yeah, we probably would need to introduce him at some point. At some
Right.
point, we would need to bring Ion in. But also, too, I'm like, I would have never thought that they would use the Nexus Prism as the way of introducing his character. That would have never crossed my mind. It would have never
Right.
crossed my mind.
Not
Because
okay.
I'm like, go ahead.
Sorry, you know what would be interesting though? Because like up until this point, we have no idea what the Nexus Prism is. We don't know what it exactly does, and how does it have a mind of its own. And my other question is, did it take back the Ninja Steel's powers, or does the Ninja Steel Rangers still have their powers?
I thought they gave it up
You
at
have
the
a good
end.
point, Lena. That is a very good point because the Ninja Stars were not in the prism. And
No,
they
they
did
weren't.
give their powers back.
Yeah, they were not in there. That's why I was like kind of confused because I remember when I saw it, I'm like, wait, I thought
Oh
they gave it
God.
back, but now I don't see anything. So what is happening? Like,
Maybe it's another situation where Rangers got their powers back off screen.
no. I mean, I hope not.
Or
I
I can imagine
mean,
I can imagine like the Rangers in like different colleges or doing whatever, living their normal lives. You got Sarah in MIT and Haley, you know what I'm saying, then broke up with Calvin and Calvin working at somebody's junk shop with his, you know what I'm saying, reminiscing on his relationship with Haley and Haley with a whole beautiful black man just living her best life, you know what I'm saying, with her white ninja star. And you got
And her dog.
Preston. Huh?
Don't forget her dog and her dog.
Oh yeah, and her dog, because she took the dog too, because Cody was like, bump Calvin. I don't like him anyway. That's why I bit him. And you know what I'm saying? It's done.
Oh,
Bump him. And you got Brody and Aiden, you know what I'm saying, traveling the world, doing all their little ninja stuff because they were the only real ninjas on the team anyway. And you got and you got Preston. I said him last on purpose. And he just, jumping through dimensions, going to go be with Coda because Coda's his brother from another mother. So you know what I'm saying? Like with his little blue ninja star. So I'm just like, that's probably what happened. I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? That's my own little personal,
yeah.
mind thing that, my
So
own
now
little personal story.
I'm very curious though, because like, and if the stars are not in there, what is it really looking for? And
Mm-hmm.
what was what's his name? Mick, was he always a shifter and we just never noticed?
No, he was. Like he
yeah.
was always a shapeshifter, but the thing
Okay.
is the show never actually used his ability.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's what
stupid.
threw the crap off. Like, I mean, I'll be honest here. I'm not a true fan when it comes to Power Rangers Ninja Steel. So obviously,
A
little
lot of us
details
aren't.
like, kind of pass me. So if I'm asking questions, do not mind. I'm trying to understand. And those of you who are listening to this have never seen Ninja Steel, you're gonna thank me. I have no idea there. So we're both in this together. Yeah. So
Girl. Yes, girl. Like, and that's the thing, because like it's funny though, because you're not the first person to say that. Because there are so many people online who were like, I've never known that Mick was a shapeshifter. And it's like, that's because Ninja Steel never actually utilized that ability at all in the show. Like, the thing is, they had him shapeshift like maybe twice. And the show was like 40 episodes, and they probably had him shapeshift twice.
wow. Oh, and what happened to Mick's powers? I thought he was a Red Ranger too.
That was a one-time thing.
For one time.
Okay.
For one
So
time.
for the one episode, he knew how to fight. I got it.
Yes.
That
And
was
like,
so weird.
but that's the thing. And that's also what I'm trying to say about the morphing grid. Why does it give people the ability to know how to fight?
Yeah, that was
Like, how does it do that? See, this is why we need explanations, people. This is why we need explanations. This is why we need it, because this will answer questions like that. But yes, Mick does not know how to fight. But he only knew how to fight in that one time.
Okay.
But yeah, like Mick is a whole shapeshifter.
Oh, and I love how they use it so often in this one episode, which I think that just really threw me off. But now I'm really curious as to what is the prison really looking for, and why. And another question again, don't mind me, listeners. Are Ninja Steel Rangers and this current team on the same timeline?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're in the same dimension.
Okay, that makes it a little bit easier.
Yes.
Interesting.
It would have been super, I mean, not that this wasn't random, but it would have been super random if Mick went to another dimension.
Well, not really. Mick seems to be involved in a lot of situations.
Right. This is true. And more than likely, he probably does have like one of those little dimension teleporter things.
Right.
You know, he probably has one. Not even gonna lie.
Right. And don't forget, he went off in a space taxi.
Which they finally showed. They finally showed that doggone space taxi that he was always talking about. Right. So
that was a recurring thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he mentioned it a few times in Ninja Steel. He was like, "Oh, the space taxi," and you're just like, okay. But yeah, it is an actual space taxi. Which I was like, oh, okay. Finally, we actually got to see it.
Right.
And did you also know that when Mick was like, "Oh, I'm planning on opening my own restaurant," that was actually a throwback to Kelson Henderson's actual steak shop.
I was just about to
steak
say
that he said that
he
has.
Does have an actual restaurant.
Yep.
He does. And it's actually running right now for those of you who live where he lives. You can go visit and everything. He has a whole little Instagram page. He's just very private about it. I noticed that. I don't know exactly sure why, but hey, you know what? If you know, you know. Maybe it's one of those speakeasy places that only if you know, you know.
Well, hey, listen, like, and also too, it's very regional too. So, you know, maybe it's that. Maybe it's just that. You know, it's like, oh, well, you know, this is, you know, if you live here, then, you know, you know what's happening. You know the tea. You know what I'm saying? It may be one of those type of situations. So it's like, oh, okay, well, this is cute. But no, like, yeah, that was very interesting. I was like, that's actually kind of cool that they actually threw that in there. Like, good for y'all.
I was pretty impressed. When he said that, I was like, that's him in real life, though. What?
That is Kelson Henderson in real life. I was like, we like that.
Fun facts for all of those who don't know this, now know.
Exactly. But you know what? Speaking of mixed shape-shifting ability, that scene with Jane and Jayborg, keep writing this way. Becca Barnes, Owendale, Pookie, you know what I'm saying? Simon Bennett. Y'all keep writing like this. Because I'm telling you, it is very rare. Like, there's only been like maybe 1 or 2 occurrences, but I have been enjoying Jane and Jayborg so much this season so far. I've been enjoying them a lot. And this is, listen, I know we had our differences about the comedy duos and being like, oh boy, here we go. But I'm sorry, like, Jane and Jayborg has not really disappointed me. Like, I still sing the sports song every now and then. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just sitting here working, you know, on my computer, and all of a sudden you might hear me get that little ditty bop out, you know, real fast, because it's constantly stuck in my head. But I'm just like, I really enjoyed them. And that scene on this episode was actually, it utilized them so well. Because when Mick became that basketball and Jayborg was trying to like get rid of him, that was so cute to me. I was like, this is actually funny. Like, I enjoyed that scene. What did y'all think? Like, I enjoyed it.
I second that. You know what I really like about this comedy dude? They're not overdoing it. Like, they have their moment, and that's it. They leave. You know, it's not like They constantly come back. It's not like, Ben and Betty, where I feel like at some point they almost become like the main focus of the episode because of how badly they mess up that the Rangers have to fix their problem. And like, well, that shouldn't be, because the Rangers like actual task is to try to save our ass. That's what the real task is, not to fix Ben and Betty's constant problems that they cause. And there's nothing against Ben and Betty. I really like their characters. I've always felt for them, so I personally like them. And Will knows that because he does not like them. But
actually, Phil, I felt the way that you felt. I didn't dislike them. I disliked the way that they were used, because there were a couple of times where they had some redeeming qualities that actually helped the plot along, and they could be funny without having to get a bunch of goo dropped all over them or get thrown across the Zord Bay. That happened a few times, and I was like, "Oh my god, can we get this all the time?" But no.
Right.
So I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Brandon, like you were saying, Jay Borg and Jane. The first time that we saw. I would say the first time maybe that we saw Jay Borg, I was like, oh my God, we're going to have more Vic and Monty, Ben and Betty, Spike BS. And then we had a couple of like ridiculous moments, but I feel like both of them are really charming. I really like Jane. I really would like to see them do like maybe a B plot episode with her, because I really like the actor. She's I really like her. But yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise that they haven't been too over the top. And they're not always doing like the slapsticky stuff. We'll get it, but it's not like a constant.
Yeah. And it's like usually it's either the beginning or the middle or towards the end, and that's it. You don't really hear or see from them the rest of the show, which is great. And I love that because it just the time for actual business, like actual Ranger business, or whatever that might be, right? The only thing I still don't really like, and I'm not sure if you guys notice this, where towards the end, almost every ending scene, no matter what happens, it could be like one of the worst case scenario kind of situation, and they always laugh it out. I don't get it. It annoys me. Kind of
it's like they're trying to get that MMPR well going, because that's how every episode ended. Just about every episode ended back in the day.
Yeah.
It's basically like, oh, let's make them laugh. Because I'm sorry, even with what was that, the last episode, episode 7, with how it ended, like they could have stopped it right at the part where she digs herself down into the ground. They didn't have to add the water well thing. Like I was like, that's millions of dollars that they have to like put into fixing that because she dug herself down into the ground. Like that's not funny.
How long ago was that episode? Because there was no water damage or anything.
None. There was no water damage whatsoever. None.
Right? And see, like stuff like that. And that's why I'm like, that could have been like without. And that if that really happened in real life, how pissed everybody would be. Not, oh, ha, 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 while the water sending us in the face. Ha, 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 ha. It's so great. No, it's not.
Not this laugh, though. Ha, 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 ha. But no, like you're right though. It's just like this is not the tea. It's not funny. Like that was not funny. But this joke was actually really funny though, because it was like she was really trying to get that ball, and it's what makes me laugh is the fact that like she was the only person to actually notice that Mick changed into the ball. And she was still like, you need to get the fuck out. You need to get out.
But you know what? But that's like real life. Like, you know how like nowadays, like these kids, they only notice what's in front of them. And they can be kidnapped, put in a van, and like drove across the country. They wouldn't even notice. as long as their phone is in their hands.
Like, it was so funny. Oh my God. Like, I was like, I don't know if anybody would catch that, but that tickled me so much. Like, she did not even flinch at the fact that this was just a grown ass man who just changed into a ball. And she was just like, still, you don't work here. You got to go.
Well, you know what though? I guess that's what's great about her being an android. She's just like, that's cool. You want to be a ball today? That's fine, but you just can't be in here.
Right. You can be whatever you want to be, just not in here. Get out. Like, I thought that was so funny. Oh my God, I thought that was funny. But yeah, like that was such a good scene. And I know, like, okay, so in the previews, they showed like the little part, and I did send y'all that preview clip or whatever before the episode actually came out. But I was actually pleasantly surprised at how decent the CGI looked on the Megazord at the very beginning of the fight. Because that fight was pretty much almost like 70% CGI, American footage. Like, it actually was like, it didn't have hardly any Sentai in it, except for like those two scenes, like there was two scenes that he used, like the finisher and the part where he's standing there, posing behind the fire, posing in front of the fire, excuse me. Those were the only scenes that they used. And I'm like, the rest of the scenes were all CGI. And I'm like, this actually looks decent. Like, it doesn't look bad. Like, I'm like, this looks good. Now it's not giving, it's not giving like Marvel, but I mean, it's decent. Like, I was like, this CGI isn't bad to me.
Definitely not Marvel, but it's you know what? I will say this. Overall, this season of Power Rangers has really stepped up as level of CGI, this level of graphics and everything. So no, not as great as Marvel, but you know what? Not bad for Power Rangers at all.
I agree. It wasn't that bad. I was like, because I have seen some people was like, oh, this looks kind of crappy. But I'm like, honestly, if you want to compare it to the previous finale, the previous season 1 finale of Beast Morphers, when they were fighting inside of the other dimension and those Zords fell apart. If you want to compare it to that, I think this is miles better. Because that scene, I'm sorry, that scene looks terrible. Like, the CGI in that scene looked god awful. So I'm like,
remember the saber-tooth tiger from oh my God, from Dino Charge?
Dino Charge. That thing was moving. That thing was moving it like it was in like a 4D, in like a 4D. I'm so mad at how that thing had swiped that little boy. I'm like, this thing looks terrible. It looks awful. Like, come on now. So I'm just like, the CGI in this is not bad. Like, the special effects is not bad. I was like, this is decent. This is actually pretty good for Power Rangers. But yeah, like that scene, and it starts immediately. Like, we're already in a fight. You know what I'm saying? And, they went ahead and broke down, the little other monster broke down their Zord or whatever. Which I'm like, first of all, Solon, girl, you working. Like, they got Solon working. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sis is working because she had them Zords repaired, honey. She was like, okay, yeah, they didn't already broke down, but girl, don't worry, I got you.
I absolutely love her. The more I see her, and you know what? I feel like she needs to have like a self-focused episode too. She deserved an episode. Like, I need to know more about her. I need to know so much about her. I can obsess about her. Right now, I got nothing to obsess over. Like, it's everything. I just love her. I really do.
Okay, y'all, we need a Solon's Magical Christmas. Go ahead and put that out there. Thank you, Simon Bennett. Thank you very much. We need an episode where Solon goes out for Halloween and she goes to Buzz Blast and all the all the people at
But
Buzz Glass is like fawning all over her. We need
if
it.
he has no idea what Halloween's or special holidays are, that would be so fun to introduce her to that. Oh my god.
That would be cute. That would be cute.
So cute. Because think
That
about
would
it,
be
right?
cute.
She's been living for billions of years before, and I'm pretty sure none of that stuff existed then. And oh my god, her and Zato trying to like navigate the world together. Oh, that would be adorable.
That could be a
That would be
comic
cute.
idea.
Right? Like
Right?
Halloween business. I can be myself. Yeah, you have
Oh, right. Yeah, he could do that. They both could go out. Yeah.
yeah, they both could go as their true selves. Oh
But
my
that would be hilarious if Zato is walking around in his night outfit and he's getting nervous about all these people in costumes and start attacking them.
yes.
Like, why do they look like monsters? And just starts like whooping their asses.
Oh
That would
my
be great.
god. That would be so great. Okay, just so y'all know, you heard it here first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my god, and Christmas? Oh my god. I can see like Zato be like, why would a big creepy guy bring you presents?
Oh my gosh, yes. Him, oh my god, like have have Santa Claus come back, because the same guy comes every year, the same actor comes every year. Have him come in.
Mhm.
Have him come in and like Zato is like, what are you doing in the command center?
Right?
And just starts like whooping his ass. That would be amazing.
With this
that
like
would be great.
serious tone and everything like that. And then they try to explain to him that you get to sit in his lap, and he's all like, why would I want to sit in his lap?
Why would I want to sit in his lap?
Right?
Like,
This is great. We should write this.
I'm telling you, like, we are full of ideas tonight. Like, we totally should write. We should write this stuff down. Seriously.
Seriously, we should. This is great. Just putting that out there. We need an episode of them two. Her alone, that's great too. Them two together, I think that'd be even cuter. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Let's do it. But yeah, like, and then also too, one of the other things that really stood out to me in this episode, or one of the things that I think we should definitely talk about is, can we talk about how that the monster of the day decided that she wanted to jump her dumb behind off the building and want to hop on the back of the Megazord and got stabbed? I did not think that was going to happen. I was like,
right. That was
like,
it would have been crazy if we saw like the end of the blade come out through its shoulder or something. But that would have been too much.
Yeah, well, of course you saw them actually like, have the power, like, actually shielding over the actual sword, like, like, because actually on the Japanese version on Ryu Soldier, you actually do see the blade coming from the back of the monster.
Okay.
So like that energy that you saw, that was actually the blade. But still, just the fact that we actually still got that is like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Power Rangers. Y'all are really like, y'all letting us have it. And I love it. Like, I love this. Like, what was something else that you guys thought that was pretty interesting?
The fact that they gave us a little insight, more insight on the Morphin Master. So that's just making me wonder what else they're going to do. Like, what else have they done, and what will they do next? Basically, I really wish that I didn't hear anything about that before I watched it, though, because I was looking on Twitter and I was looking at everybody's their ideas on like their headcanon that they're making, and then I was like expecting to see some of the stuff. So when I watched, I was like, oh
no.
So people were just coming up with that. Okay. I knew some people were coming up with stuff on their own, but I thought that there was some concrete stuff established, but it wasn't really. So it was kind of like, damn.
No, you gotta
Now,
do the right
Will.
thing, right?
Now, Will, you know the cardinal rule. You got to watch whatever it is first before you jump on Twitter. Because you know they're going to spoil it. That is the cardinal rule. You don't ever jump on Twitter
Never.
not expecting to be spoiled. Because they're going to spoil you to death.
And you know what? It wasn't even that I didn't care so much about being spoiled. It was more so I wish that I didn't have the expectations of what I had read and some of the stuff that you guys were saying in the group chat. I wish I would have just went in totally blind because I maybe it would have been a bit more enjoyable for me. Like I have fun because I always have fun with this show, but it was like, damn, I was really like, I wish I didn't know anything.
No. I mean, like, okay,
Yeah.
if you're gonna read into that stuff, like you should take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm like that. Whenever I see the chat that you guys, have in our group, or when I see stuff that you guys send me, I don't even like I vaguely look at it, but I just kind of like brush it off until I see it because I feel like, hey, I can't make a judgment or make anything unless like there's a concrete like inside information that y'all know about. That's different, but otherwise, I just see it. I'm like, all right, cool. But what I want to say before I forget, I really like the beginning, how they open up the episode with them fighting the monsters of the day. And I'm not sure if you notice this, but I really truly like the fact that they're not really focused on monsters of the day per se. Like, yes, you always can have one, but I like how they open the scene with them fighting an actual monster and, doing all that jazz. And I'm going, wait, oh, okay. I mean, personally, I don't recall in a really long time that they have done let's open up with the whole monster attack situation where it kind of gives us an insight that this does happen on daily, not just every single time where seemingly it seems like they're filming. If that makes any sense. So yeah, like they just happen to magically be living their life and suddenly a monster came out of nowhere, where it seems kind of cool to see that on a daily something happens. Something happens and they're dealing with it, like they're going on with it, like they're constantly doing this, they're constantly doing that, which is great. The other thing I wanted to bring up is Voight Knight. Who the frick is that woman in a tank? She's looking like the whole Shape in the Water movie situation.
I got Mr. Freeze vibes from it.
Me too. I got Mr. Freeze too.
That's what I think a bunch of people talked about online too. But yes, go on.
And the lady is it just me or did you guys think that looked like Jay Borg with white hair?
You think so?
I got
when I saw her, when I just had seen the steals of her, and I thought she looked like Jay Borg.
That'd be creepy.
I didn't think she looked like Jay Borg.
I didn't think she looked like Jay Borg.
Okay.
I
was thinking like,
okay,
did the piece the piece of I guess the human part of her, did she get like, did something happen to her? Like, is Jay Borg really like did something happen to her that made her half android? But that's probably not her. I
thought Jay Borg was like a store-bought android, like she was manufactured massive, like a mass produce.
Yeah, that are they completely like, because I'm going by how Mac was made, because there was like human DNA within the android, right? Or was he just an android?
He was just an android.
No, he was just android. Okay. All right, forget it then. My bad.
Because I know. Okay. This is what I understand.
Wow.
I just made a totally different. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god. No, I totally thought that Jay Borg was like a mass-produced like android that, what's her face happened to buy from the store.
Right. Yeah, looks like that is the case. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because she came in the box and everything, right? Like. Okay. All right.
God.
Well. All right. Well, that's all I have to say. Are we gonna rate this episode?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I have to mute them. I was dying right now. Oh my god.
My god, Will. I can't with you.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. Yes. Before we rate this episode, I'm sorry. I have to get this out because I thought this was so funny. Izzy and her getting these sports. First of all,
Oh,
when Mucus was trying to catch the sporix and she ran up to her and pushed her out the way. I screamed out loud. I'm not sure if y'all knew this, but I literally screamed when she pushed her. I was like, Izzy, you ain't had to push her out the way like that.
Izzy had to. Izzy had no place to be there. Like, she shouldn't have been there to begin with, okay? Shoot. Know your place, Mucus. Know your place.
I was thinking, Izzy was going to do something heroic because, the Power Rangers, they always, they'll do something cute, like they'll flip in the way and grab it instead and, something like that, something heroic. Nah, Izzy was like, Yaga, and just like pushed her out the way.
Well, I mean,
I was like, oh.
This is the girl that ripped off her own skirt. Was like, nah, skirts are not my thing.
Right. So I guess she's just like, girl is like, mad aggressive. Like, I love it.
That's great.
But yeah, let's just
boom, out of here.
Out of here. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. But let's just go ahead and rate this episode. So what is it giving? Listen, I enjoyed this finale a lot. I'm giving it a 5. Out the gate.
5 for me.
It's a 4 for me.
It's a 4. It's a 4 for you.
Ew. Get out of here.
Like, if y'all can see my face is just like,
I ain't giving a 3.
Okay.
So
I'm very upset.
So we have decided that at this point, moving forward, Will no longer be part of the show.
I'm really sad that we won't have any more until what, August?
Yeah, by August, yeah.
And it's only been 7 damn episodes. What the hell?
8
episodes. That's and they do this every year, right?
Yes, they do.
Around April. I hate this.
I hate this too.
Yeah.
Oh, this is sad.
Normally with seasons that we actually like, we just don't give a shit. But this time, like, it's a season we like.
Right?
So like,
oh, so good. And now we have to take a whole massive break. Right.
Summer break. So more SpongeBob. But yeah.
They need to do a SpongeBob Power Rangers crossover.
No, they don't. Moving on.
Shut down. Will, don't die on us now. Don't die on us now. We still need you. I was joking. We still need you.
Moving right along. So we're gonna listen. So we're gonna go ahead and segue on to Stranger Things, because the main reason why we're talking about this show, I'm pretty sure you're like, Stranger Things, like the new season hasn't even come out yet. What are you talking about?
Well, not even just that. They're probably like, why are we even talking about Stranger Things? This is like a Power Ranger podcast. Like, what the heck?
Right? Like, wait.
No, guys.
Well, first of all, if you have not noticed, you guys, if you have not noticed on our Instagram, and also what we normally do anyway, we talk about the actors and what they actually do. So this is what we were talking about the last episode when we said we're going to be, doing some new things, being creative, you know what I'm saying? Basically, what we're going to be actually doing is we're going to start covering actual shows and movies that other actors from Power Rangers have done. And we decided that we were going to start it off with Stranger Things because Dacre Montgomery, our Red Ranger from the Power Rangers 2017 movie, played Billy in the show. So this is why we're doing that. And we're going to be doing that, going forward. So, if you want to stick around, you might even learn something. Hell, you might even want to go watch the show. And if you already have, you can sit here and kiki right along with us. You know what I'm saying? And laugh and joke and everything. But this is something that we definitely wanted to do because this is, this is what we actually base the show on anyway. Like, this is what Tribunal of the Grid is all about. We're always about the actors. So, without further ado, I just had to let y'all know, you know what I'm saying? So definitely stick around for this portion because it's going to be amazing. So first of all, can I say that Dacre Montgomery acted his ass off in this? Granted, his character was terrible.
Yeah.
But he acted his tail off. And I'm like, sir. Like, there was just so many things that Billy did that I was just like, this is mad questionable, especially coming from a teenager.
Hold up. Let's rewind a little bit. What is the show about and what is the character and how and when did he get introduced?
I just watched the series for the first time in the last 4 days. And I'm like, oh my God, it was so much fun. It starts off with the kids. It's 4 boys. They 4 best friends. They play Dungeons and Dragons. And interestingly enough, the game kind of parallels what's going on in the real world. We find out about an alternate reality called the upside down.
The upside down, yes.
Which is basically, it's kind of like almost like a shadow world.
Yeah, it's an identical copy of their current town right now. And
Hawkins,
yes. I was gonna say, what is the name of it? Whew, it's been years. It's been years. It's what happens, like I literally watched it when it first came out and followed every single season after that as it came out. So it's been a while, but thank you, Will, for who just recently watched it. We're up to date. Yes.
Yeah. And they one of the kids, his name is
Will.
Will, coincidentally.
Will.
After their game, they ride their bikes home, and if I remember correctly, Will might have gotten into like a bike accident or something, but he got separated from one of his friends. Will, long story short, he gets kidnapped by kind of like the big bad of the season, the Demogorgon.
Yeah, he gets affected by a creature from the upside down.
From the upside down, yeah. And he is gone for basically until the end of the season.
Everyone's searching for him. Especially his mom and the chef.
Yeah. What's his name? Chief Hopper.
Yes. I wanted to add, sorry, Will. I wanted to add at the same time as Will got kidnapped, a young girl named 11 actually escapes the upside down. So it's almost like they trade place, and she escapes the laboratory where she essentially is being held to do testings on and everything because she's got some kind of psychic ability.
She's kind of like Jean Grey in a way. She has telekinesis.
Yeah, so she obviously leaves and escapes, and while his friends are trying to find him, so essentially, to make it really short, Will comes back, but he's not doing well. Essentially, he's not doing well. He's dealing with PTSD. No,
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD.
And he brings something back from the upside down. When his mom found him, she found him wrapped in these vines that were basically alive, and he had like oh my goodness, think of like an umbilical cord, but instead of in his stomach, it was down his throat. So her and Chief Hawkins were able to pull it out, But as we saw a few months later in the finale, when he's home, he's not feeling well. And he goes to the bathroom and he throws up a piece of the vine that was
Yeah.
alive. And
Well,
it's still alive,
it's
whatever the
it's
hell it
not a
was.
vine. So he threw up a demogorgon. It was in
Mhm.
his tummy. So essentially,
Mhm.
they use his body as a way to escape the
It
upside
was
down.
a host basically in a way. It
Yeah.
like piggybacked off of him.
So, anyhow, moving on. So leads us into second season where essentially a year later, Will has been rescued and things have been fine and dandy for the most part. But 11, who is this little girl who helped them essentially fight off the upside down and rescue Will, is now living with them, and she's trying to figure out her life because no one knows where she came from. So there's that.
Mhm.
And then, we're going to move forward even faster because essentially it's just these kids doing the same thing, going to the upside down, coming back to the upside down. What we really want to get to is season 2, where they introduce Billy Hargrove. Now, who is Billy Hargrove, we ask, right? Well, Billy Hargrove was born in 1967. He was 17 when he got introduced in season 2. He was 18 in season 3. And he lived in Hawkins, but originally he was from California. So how he got introduced was because his dad obviously married some woman who had a daughter named Max, and they had to relocate from California to Hawkins,
Hawkins.
where essentially he has to obviously start his life again. And he's not happy about that. And that leads us to who Billy Hargrove is. Take it away, Brennan.
So Billy Hargrove, right? First of all, like he is extremely misogynist. He is such a misogynist. Just in the way that he treats women, as we've seen when we see his character introduced, the way he talks to women, the way he talks to girls, even the way he talks to his sister, which really bothered me. I'm just like, look, if you don't like her, just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to fight her, just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you are really giving her that energy, like, girl, square up. Like, I want to box you. Like, girl, square up. So it's like, he was terrible, Your Honor. He was really terrible.
He was he was just like the school bully, and he's the new kid.
Right, and you a whole new kid. I'm like, first of all, y'all, I know there was some OG bullies at the school. You know what I'm saying? Some OGs that should have rolled up on him, like, yo, you trying to take our kids that we bully. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do that. Like, know your place. You know what I'm saying?
Billy's like, nah, bitch, you know your place. I was like, oh,
okay. Okay, like he has that kind of energy, like I do what I want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I'm not here for this, Billy. I'm not here for this.
Right? So, like, obviously, season 2 just kind of introduces who Billy is, but doesn't really talk a lot about him. We just know that he is Max's older brother or older stepbrother. And Max gets introduced to the little group that we just mentioned earlier at the beginning of season 1, where, she becomes friends with the little group and, things are fine and dandy with her. But Billy, we don't even know what he's doing half the time, but he's always be like telling her what to do, where to go, just being the
who
utter
she
pro.
can and can't hang out with.
Exactly. Who she can.
He was not happy. And I don't, they never really went into detail, but he was not happy that she was hanging out with little black boy.
Okay.
Right. He really was not okay. And he basically insinuate that he was a racist. I mean, given the time, I'm not surprised anyway. So there's that. But just when we thought his character, was just a shitty character for season 2, didn't really play much of a role. Season 3 now.
Season 3 though.
He becomes like a whole character. So we find out that his father abuses him. So in turn, he takes that abuse and he abuses his little sister and everybody around him.
And
Like
everybody else, yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, wow, you're so angry. Like
Very.
so angry, And what really shocks me too is how together he is when it comes to his father. When I mean together, I don't mean like, like he knows how to handle his father, but the fact that he never lashed out on him, not even once.
Right. Like his father is the only person that could get him together, that could gather him. Like nobody else can do nothing to him, but his father's the only one. And that's mainly because his father, he's afraid of his father. Like he's afraid of him. And like his father instilled that fear in him where it's like, I'm you can be the biggest bully in the world, but I'm always going to be the one that's going to bully you. Like I'm always going to be the one that's going to overpower you.
Right.
And it was so sad to watch. And then when you actually watch his character, fumble and fidget, whenever dad comes through, it's like, ooh, like it's so sad to watch because it's just like, here you have this guy, you know what I'm saying, who puts on this front of like, oh, I'm Mr. Big Guy, I'm Mr. Tough, and he cowers, because of the fact that, he knows that this man, you know what I'm saying, can beat his ass. And it's just like, it's crazy.
And that brings me to another point I wanted to make. When there was this scene where he's yelling at Billy and his stepmom is standing right there behind a door or whatever, it makes me wonder, like genuinely, truly, it makes me wonder, how does she think that marrying this guy was going to be the answer to whatever problem she's got while putting her daughter in the uttermost danger?
Right.
And toxic relationships. Like
I wonder if she knew that Billy was being abusive to Max. I'm thinking not, because it seemed like she was kind of
I feel like
protective
not.
over him to his dad.
Yeah, I feel like not, because I feel like in some weird ways, like as much as he was abusive towards her per se, I genuinely think that she does care for him though.
Yeah, you could see that. You could see that.
You know what I mean? Like you can see it. So I feel like I don't think he's ever like physically hit her per se. I think he's just
I think that they kind of alluded to that he did.
I know it doesn't seem like it because she didn't seem that scared of him. Like she's, how do I say this? Like, like remember in season 2 where he pulls up and he's like, get in, right? And so she gets in, but she doesn't seem like she's scared of him in the sense that she's scared of him actually hitting her. She knows he's like verbally abusive, but she doesn't seem like she fears in terms of him physically. And especially like in season 3 where, he's starting a fight with Harrison or Harrington, and she decides to stab him in the neck with a needle that knocks him out. And she's like, you know what? Like, dude, you're not cool. Like, you're not special. And she, bats apologies out of him, which shows you a lot too, because I feel like that was the same attitude she had towards him throughout the entire season 2, season 3. I just guess towards the end of season 3, she's got really sick and tired of his shit.
Right.
That's interesting because you mentioned, I remember that that interaction in the car, and I remember they had another one where she kind of shut down a bit because he was intimidating her. And I think it might have been about her hanging out with Lucas, and like he actually like scared her, and then he said that he was going to do something to her, or at least alluded to it, and then they just they cut to another scene right after, but they never showed her like holding her arm or holding her face or bruised or anything. But I took it that he of course, obviously we saw him be verbally abusive, but I thought that he at some point hit her too, but they just didn't show it. That's how I took it.
I mean, he could have just used that as a way to scare her, right?
Because it's possible.
Because it seems like the more verbally abusive he is to her, she seems to sort of like kind of take that very like, okay, cool, like you keep saying all this, I'm tired of your shit. I'm tired of the fact that like, you know, you just don't want to be part of this family. So then go live your own life, you know, kind of attitude. And that's the vibe I always gotten from her, where she has fully accepted him as her family, right? But he seems to not do the same thing with her.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and it makes me really wonder too, because at one point he said something along the lines of like, well, we're family now, so I guess I have to look up for your little shit. For your
Yeah.
little shit. That also made me wonder, like, does that mean like he actually low key cares for her?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably does care for her in a bit because I mean, look at what he did at the end, though. You know, on the finale. So I do think he actually does care about her. I feel like what it is child. I swear, if I turn into Oprah Winfrey, y'all just go with me, okay? If I turn to Iyanla Vanzant, just go with me. But I feel like it's one of those situations where, you know, like how people are abused and their abuse turns into, well, this is how I love. I feel like that is kind of where Billy was coming from, because Billy, although he was very abusive to her, I feel like he still cared about her because that was the same thing that was done to him by his dad. Like, he thinks that the abuse that he got from his dad is a form of love, so he does it to his little sister. And he treats, you know, everybody around him the same way that his dad treats him, in a sense. But that's his form, but he feels like that's his form of love because that, you know, that's his father. So, you know, it's like, oh, well, my dad loves me, so this is how he treats me, so this is how I'm going to treat everybody else. I feel like from his character, that's what I got, because on the ending, and yes, you know, spoiler alert, if you have not seen it yet, it's been out. Sorry, not sorry. You know, he basically sacrifices himself in
Yeah.
the end, you know, to protect her and the other kids. So, you know, it's like, no, like I think he actually does care about her. But, you
It
know,
took a lot. It
yeah.
took 11 to really dig up his past, his problems.
She gave him a whole therapy session.
She really
did.
did.
She
She
really
did.
did.
She said, I want you to become, baby. I want you to heal. I
Yeah.
want you to get better. And that's what happened. Like, I mean, he ended up opening his eyes and was like, yo, like, I'm not well. I'm not doing, you know, this is what I'm doing is not good. Which also a testament to Dacre's acting. First of all, when he when he was running from the from the people and stuff before he got turned, and he had a whole chase sequence that was like I'm like, listen, he was so scared, and I felt the fear from him. I was like, you better go off, Dacre. You better act. Like, I loved it. Like, his performance was really good in this. Like, let's talk about y'all. This I just thought about this. Y'all. First of all, not old dude mama was about to sleep with him.
Oh my God, right?
Oh my God. Wasn't that Nancy's mom?
Yes.
Nancy and Mike's mom.
Nancy and Mike's mom. Mike is actually one of Will's friends. And for those of you who don't know that, Will is the one that originally got sucked into the upside down and brought it back to the, you know, the real world. So now that we're up to speed, Nancy and Mike's mom was trying to sleep with Billy.
Well, he came on to her first.
I mean, to be
But
fair,
at the same time, like, ew, he just was in high school.
No, I'm sorry. No, even if he came on to her, still, like, it's a chop. Like,
it's a child.
Boy, you are a child. Okay, like, just because you 18, no, you are
Those
a child.
Those moms at the pool. Remember the moms at the pool? Okay, so he worked as a lifeguard in season 3, right? Tell me how all these group of mamas would come, sit down, and watch him while he lifeguard.
While he worked, like, It's like, why are y'all sitting here watching this boy?
I
Y'all
swear to
bunch
you,
of cougars.
right? I swear to you, if this was like in 2021 or 2020 with the Me Too movement, he got like sexually abused 10 times over.
Okay.
Yeah. This is they played on a trope that we saw a lot back in the day. Like this show is set in the 80s. So we definitely saw this trope in the 80s, the 90s of the the high school boy that's coming into his own as a man having an affair with the neighborhood mom. So this was kind of this was that trope.
Yeah. This
Ew,
is yeah.
it was giving me the oh my god, the Greg Brady and Mama Brady vibes. If you remember that whole thing.
No, what are you talking about? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Did you know that Greg Brady dated uh his TV mom?
That's gross. We don't know who that is, but that's
I
gross.
don't know who that is, but who is
The
Greg
Brady
Brady?
Bunch.
The
The
Brady
Brady
Bunch.
Bunch, the White Show.
Yes.
Well, we don't
I
watch White shows. I'm kidding.
You didn't watch that?
I'm kidding.
Oh
No,
my
but in
god.
actual but in
Wow.
reality though, I've never actually seen the Brady Bunch. That's actually really gross to know, but I do know what the Brady Bunch is. Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay at all.
I mean, not gonna lie, she was hot, but still, that's not it. That's not it. But also too, when you think about it, like that was a different time. That was a different time in history.
Yeah.
And things were much different. Ideas were more interesting. Not interesting. Were a lot more different. So back then they were like, well, I mean, hey, are you 18? You old enough to buy cigarettes? Absolutely. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and get us a pack. So after you go ahead and screw me, we can go ahead and smoke one together. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was given.
I'm dead.
That's what it was given back in the day. So I mean, like things were different. Now, like you said, that wouldn't have passed on today, honey, because it would have been all sorts of statutories up in here. But but yeah, like it was just really creepy. And what I loved about that scene with the moms at the pool is that they were just as creepy and they played it just as well to the way that men would do young girls.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like it was the straight up perfect parallel to the same way that men would do younger women. And like they wrote them almost just like men in a way in the scene. Like they wrote them like men.
Because I feel like that we don't always talk about this, but women are absolutely sexual beings as well. And
oh yes. Women are freaks, like no,
so like
and not in a bad way, because not in a bad way, but women be getting down, okay? Like I want y'all to know.
it's one of the things that it's a conversation to have, because a lot of times in society we teach women to not enjoy sex, which is not fair and not right. And then you also have this whole thing where you want to protect women as well, but a lot of times women can want things into a more negative way. They can like take things just like a man can,
like a man.
It was that was something that they showed, that it felt uncomfortable because I knew that this boy was just in high school.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, and I feel like that's the idea that they wanted to give us, in a sense, was that, yes, it's wrong whether a man does it, whether a woman does it, like it's still creepy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not okay for a young boy to have, you know what I'm saying, to like he's literally like still in high school, he's just 18. Like, I mean, it's not okay. Like, that's no. Like, I mean, yes, he's 18, he's legal, but I mean, then it becomes that gray area of like mentally, is he, you know what I'm saying? Is he able to do this?
You have a birthday, that does not just make you not a kid anymore.
Right.
Exactly. And that becomes that whole argument of shades of gray of like, you know, what is actually, you know, appropriate for, when is it appropriate for, you know, people to have sex, or for teens to actually be, you know, be actually able to mentally identify with being an adult. Like, you know, it just goes into this weird area of just like, is it okay? Personally, I feel like me at 18, I can just go by myself. Me at 18, I was a whole mess. Like, there was no way that I was like, yes, I'm about to be, you know, I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want. At 18, no.
No,
that was not me.
And I think that's the other thing too. Like, that's the other thing that we don't really talk about as a society, where we obviously now come to realize as adults, we don't have our shit together.
Okay.
None of us do. And the biggest thing I've realized growing up too is like, no one ever tells you that, like, genuinely. And why? Why don't we ever talk about the fact that when you're an adult, you don't have your shit figured out. When you're 18, you don't have your shit figured out. When you're 19, like, just because you have, like Zach Wilson, just because you have a birthday doesn't mean your shit automatically gets figured out overnight.
Right.
You don't overnight, like in a whole ass house with a whole ass, you know, wife, partner, whatever, husband, whatever it is that you're into, with like a whole ass couple babies and a dog and a cat. Like, that just doesn't happen overnight. Like, those are things you built towards. And if that's what you want, of course. I'm not saying all of us want marriage and a family, you know, all that jazz. But yeah, like, and then the other thing that I also find very annoying that I've talked about very, very often is that we also don't discuss how finances is such an important aspect of our lives growing up as an adult.
Finances is very important when it comes to just relationships in general. Like, people just think that, oh, like, oh, I'm in love, so love is enough. No, boo. No. Because I'm telling you, if I'm the one just working by myself and you ain't working, but you sitting at home on the couch doing nothing, just eating my snacks and drinking my Capri Suns, absolutely not. Absolutely like, you're gonna get your butt up and work, or we're just not gonna be together, because love ain't enough. We still got to pay these bills.
Exactly. That's literally the biggest thing. Like, no one ever talks about that. No one ever tells you that. Like, we don't have it. Like, fuck, look at us. We are adults talking about Power Rangers and all things relating to Power Rangers. Like, we don't have our shit together still.
Well, she can speak for herself. She don't have her shit together, but
but let's be honest.
I'm just joking. But no, I see what you're saying. Like,
yeah, it's it's a struggle just trying to still figure out what the hell is going on, there's no real manual on how to do this. You have to figure it out yourself, and it takes a while to understand. So it's so crazy that society makes it feel like, you know, an 18-year-old kid is ready to go on this 4-year journey and then figure out what they're going to do with their entire lives when they get out of college. Right. And then if you don't go to college, then it's just more kind of
you're failed, you're done, you're going nowhere.
They make you feel like that, you know? But when you don't do it, you know, it's just I don't know if it's necessarily scarier because you're really out there trying to figure things out.
It is scarier because now you're out of, like, on your own. You don't have any like actual formats anymore.
That's right.
You know, you don't have the format of school. You don't have the format of, like, what to do anymore. You have the format of, like, what do you want to do? First things first, get a whole ass job. Second thing, are you staying at home or are you finding your own place? You know, like, there's so much more to figure out. And in a lot of ways, it is scarier, but also in a lot of ways, it's almost simpler. I don't know. You know, like, because I know, like, I've no friends that actually just decided, you know what, I'm done with high school, and they're living happy lives. Like, you know, they don't feel like they missed out on the whole college life or university life, whatever we all want to call it these days. And where, like, you know, those of us who did go, we're actually doing absolutely nothing with our degree, with our diplomas, with our certificates. So really, who's winning?
Listen, like, and you bring up a good point, Lena. You bring up a really good point. Is that like, it's one of those situations where there is no guide, there is no manual. Like there really isn't. There really isn't a manual on like, oh, this is how life should work. This is how we should all be, and all this stuff. Like, there really isn't a manual to it. And at the end of the day, if you decide to, at the end of the day, you don't have, like, there is no manual to it. Like, you just do what's best for you. And I feel like what society kind of tells us is, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. But the gag is, you really don't have to do any of that stuff. Like, the world has transformed into a way where you can practically almost do anything. Like, I mean, there are kids who literally out of high school, you know what I'm saying, become millionaires because they hit it big off of TikTok or off of Instagram or whatever, and now they making millions, like thousands and millions of dollars just being brand ambassadors. Or you have people who go to trade schools and open their own business, and now they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars as a business person. You know what I'm saying? They didn't go to college for 4 years, they didn't go to universities, but at the end of the day, they did what was best for them. And I feel like the old school idea of the American dream, and how, well, we call it the American dream, but the whole, go to school, go to secondary school, go get a new job, go, work in the workforce for 20, 30, 40 years and then retire. Those days are going. Those days are going. And like, everybody is out living their lives now. So I mean, the times are different. And I feel like this show, especially when it comes to just, human interaction, especially when it comes to human interaction, times are different. And I feel like this show definitely appealed, especially with the character of Billy, appealed to a certain time in history where certain things like that was almost kind of acceptable in a sense. Like, I mean, it was nothing. I mean, that time, you have to think about the time in which that was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think about the time of these characters during this time, because they were, this is during the time of like sex positivity.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was out, screwing each other, and just sex and drugs, honey, sex and drugs. I would have loved to live during that era. I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyway, not the drugs part, but definitely, yeah, never mind. Anyway, so it was definitely it was a special time, and there was a lot going on. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden, those women had the hots for him. You know what I'm saying? And it was acceptable. Like, nobody wouldn't have batted an eye if she would have, went out and had sex with Billy. Nobody wouldn't have batted an eye. So
this is true. And
yeah.
You know what? And it seems, the other thing too, I'm not sure if you guys noticed that too. All their husbands were always older and like heinous looking compared to them.
I was about to mention.
It's true.
It seemed like they were not happy in their marriages. I felt so bad. I felt so bad for Mrs. Wheeler, because her husband just seemed to not really care about much. He was just like there.
Yeah, they weren't happy, and you can tell those women weren't happy, and that's why she wanted some young meat.
She wanted I got to feel alive.
Okay.
I mean, I don't blame her. I would totally try to want Billy too. Just like,
listen, having somebody like Billy flying behind in my loins. Listen, I don't blame her. Because she was not a bad looking woman, honey. She was not bad looking. She
was not. I wonder how she was when she married her husband, because he seems so freaking old compared to her.
Right. So I'm like, honey, she was like, I still got my shape. I still got my looks.
After 3 kids.
Like,
in the 80s.
in the 80s, listen, she was like, tooted and booted, honey. Like, let's get it. Like, let's get it. Let's get this work. But overall, like, I thought this was a really good show. Like if we were to rate, the character and and the show, like,
okay,
it would be a little bit different than how we would do Power Rangers.
okay.
But
So are we gonna do per episode? Because I feel like we should, given the fact that I feel like Billy transformed in 2 separate episodes.
well, child, I don't remember them episodes like that, girl. So I ain't gonna lie to you. I say we just rate the overall experience.
Okay.
Overall character, if we were to go from Billy season 2 all the way to season 3, like, what would you rate it? Like, what would you rate the overall experience?
So Dagger Montgomery acting skills, a 10 out of 10. Wardrobe for Billy Hargrove, a 6. He was mostly shirtless, so whatever. I mean, I ain't complaining, just saying. And jewelry wise, 8 out of 10, because he was very stylish. And overall, as a character, in terms of me likable, like being likable, I want to say a 3. But overall, my experience with Billy Hargrove would be a 7.
7? Okay.
7.
For me, I would think, as far as like, especially with the show and just the look of everything, I definitely would like, because I first of all, I love the 80s. Like, I love that time period. Like, I love it.
Love it.
So I mean, they definitely had the look for sure, and like he had the mullet, and I like, even though I hate mullets, like I hate them, and like he had one, and I still hated it on him. But Dacre Montgomery is a hot man, so I was just like, okay, I can overlook it. So I would probably give the look. I'll probably give it like it is very accurate. I'll probably give like an 8. The character, as far as like the character and just overall, like how he's built and all this stuff, I would definitely give, because there's a lot of layers and nuances to him that I really enjoyed. I would probably give that like I'd probably give like an 8. I really enjoyed it. In terms of him being likable now, woo child, definitely wasn't likable. I would probably definitely give that like a 3 or 4. Because woo child, he was rough. But I do like the fact that he did grow. Grow. So I'll give it a 4. Because he did grow. Right. 1 point up. 1 point up.
But overall,
yeah. My overall feeling is I would probably give him a 9 overall.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's a high. It's a high number. Okay. Well, Will, you take it away since you've seen it the most recent compared to all of us.
Okay. All right. So, as far as like aesthetically, he definitely embodied like things that I've seen from 80s media. So I'll give him like an 8 as far as that, because he really from the curly mullet to the muscle shirts and the tight jeans, and just the way that he carried himself, he really screamed 80s for me. Car was so freaking cool.
God, his car
the
was
blue
so
sports car.
That was so
can we talk about him real quick? Trying to run down the kids.
Oh my God, he was dangerous.
That was crazy. He actually gets a couple. Damn, I might bump it up to a 9 because of the car too. That was really cool.
Oh my God. I love how the more accessories he has, the more he goes up in points.
Right.
Oh man, his character, that was really something else, because it was like a real journey It's because I told you guys, like, oh my god, like I hate this guy. Like he's
I
a
know you said it in the
fucking
beginning.
prick.
You said
Like
it.
I didn't
Yeah, I
yeah, I
remember
didn't
saying to
expect to
you,
hate him like that.
just
But
wait, just wait till you see more.
mhm,
And I think like Degger did such a great job in achieving the hate factor in that, you know?
for
Just
sure.
oh
For sure. The just the anger that his character possessed, and then he was just a prick. He was so mean to his sister. He was so mean to those the kids when he interacted with them. Just a big old bully. Then to go on the flip side and to actually get his backstory and to see why he is the way that he is, that created the, like the empathy for him. And to have him have that connection with Elle that led to him kind of seeing the error of his ways, I guess, and having a redemption moments before his death. But him saving Elle, which in turn saved his sister and everybody else. He actually went face to face with the mind flayer and actually physically actually stopped him or stopped it from killing Elle. That was brave, stupid but brave.
I
And
guess I guess for him he just feels like, you know what, my life up to this point has been worthless. So I might as well do something that
shit.
is a it's true. Like when you really think about it, like up until this point, he has really done nothing with his life other than be mean to
Mm,
people that care about him and just overall just been a
mm,
real dick to everybody around him. So I just feel like at that point he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this opportunity to realize how shit of a person I am. And in order to prove you guys that I've changed, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. Let's do this.
mm, mm. Yeah, and then for him to say I'm sorry to his sister right before he
That
died, I really
oh
appreciated that.
that broke my heart. Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
I oh, mm. But overall, he definitely wasn't likable. So
No.
as far as likability, I give him like a 3. That little redemption at the end could only do so much for all the hurt he's caused. But overall the character was really cool. Just the fact that they gave him that much growth in the third season, because like initially you didn't think that was going to happen.
Oh,
But
not at all.
yeah,
Did
I
not
really
expect that.
appreciated that. I really appreciated it. So I'd actually as far as character arcs, he was one of my favorites so far on this show. So I'd all around give him a 9, I think.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Man, if he was able to stick around longer, whether he would have maybe come to this realization a little bit earlier, or if he didn't die at the end, I think this would have been kind of like a redemption story, like Faith from Buffy. She went through
Mm,
a whole character arc from Buffy
yeah.
to Angel, and she went from this psychotic evil character to this hero. She
Yeah.
learned from her mistakes and she became a hero. So that oh man, if he would have gotten more, that would have been. Woo.
I was hoping we would have gone more. I didn't think that he would actually like they would actually kill him, and then they did, and I was like,
Mhm,
oh,
mhm.
okay. But you know what I really want to know? It just dawned on me. How the heck did they explain this to his parents?
Are his parents? Oh, okay, okay. If
This
if
is
he
true.
didn't, we didn't. Oh yeah,
We
I
never
guess.
saw. We
Okay.
never
We
saw
never
what
saw it.
happened.
I
Yeah.
was I was about to say if he didn't take his parents to go turn into the mind flayer, but obviously that didn't happen because his sister was at home. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It would I would have loved to see because like we saw, you know, Max like what's her name Max? Am I calling her something different?
Yeah, Max. Mhm.
Okay. You know why I keep because I keep thinking her real name is Sadie, so I keep wanting to say her name is Sadie, but I'm like, well, that's not her name though.
Okay.
Like not in the show, right? But
Mm.
Max, like all we saw was Max crying, obviously, and then Max being really sad about it, but that's it. We never actually saw how the story was told to his parents, or well, mostly his dad. We never saw his dad's
Mhm.
reaction. I would have loved to see his dad's reaction.
Right.
Mhm.
That
His
would
punching bag is gone now, so I wonder how that would make him feel.
No, what if he takes it out on Max?
I guess we'll find out in season 4.
If we ever get a season 4. Ugh.
Well, it looks like they I didn't realize this, but it looks like they already filmed it sometime in
Oh yeah,
2019,
they
I'm
filmed it a
assuming.
long time ago. It was finished filming
Yeah.
almost a year ago now.
Okay.
Yeah, they confirmed it shortly after season 3 that season 4 was coming. And then a year later, we got a trailer, which you, of course, would not know about since you only start watching it now. And that's when I told you about the trailer with the Hopper saying that he was
Mhm.
alive, because
Mhm.
that was our trailer. And then I thought that was the year it was going to come out when the trailer got released. And then pandemic hit and nothing ever happened.
Yeah, they probably stopped because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I was like, no. Well, they shouldn't stop because, hello, you already finished filming, so you should be like putting all that shit together. During the pandemic is when you expect all of us to be watching it. Hello, just saying.
Right.
But
Right.
Well,
I wonder when
hey,
they're gonna release it.
you never know. I don't know.
that's what I want to know too. They haven't given us a new release date at all. They did say like last time that was coming, like whatever, this fall or this summer. But then obviously, like I said, pandemic happened and then that never got reannounced.
Mhm.
Right. Well, who knows? But yes. Well, that was our review for Stranger Things. I hope you enjoyed it with Dacre Montgomery as Billy. Hope you enjoyed it.
And if you stuck around to this long, like thank you so much, because
because we appreciate it.
right?
And this is what we do. And if you do have any, and also too, if you actually want us to review any other shows or anything like that has Power Ranger actors in them, definitely let us know. Like, hit us up and let us know and be like, hey, like, I want y'all to review X, Y, and Z or whatever. And we would definitely review it on the show.
Exactly.
So, we need something. We need something to watch now that Power Rangers is on hiatus.
I mean,
for like 3 months.
Right. I mean, we'll take care of you. We got lots of things we can introduce you to, but not the point right now we're trying to make. Was what I wanted to right. I'm just saying. What I also wanted to say too is, for those of you who don't know, Stranger Things is a Netflix original, so therefore it's available on Netflix. So you can actually watch it if you have a Netflix account. And if you don't, find a friend and steal their password.
That's the easiest thing.
Okay, so we're not going to endorse that.
I'm totally endorsing that. Okay,
we're not going to endorse that.
So that's where you can find Stranger Things. Just so you all know, if you guys were like, "Oh, I've heard Stranger Things, but I have no idea where to watch it," well, now you know. Netflix. It's a Netflix original. Go find it on Netflix.
Yes.
But
all right. Well, this has been another episode of Tribunal of the Grid. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.